Dear student, uh, hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 47. Uh, Sorry for the interruption. Here, already we have discussed about this in last question only. But still, I will explain once again so that you will also become perfect. Okay. So here, oocyte will get released during embryonic stage, right? Embryonic stage only, and it will get developed into primary follicle before the birth only, before birth. Okay, and then here at the when it becomes primary follicle, it stops its division and remain arrest in the prophase 1 stage. Okay, so further process is after birth follicle development will get start again, and then when it attains puberty, okay, and ovulation is taking place, ovulation, and it is releases secondary oocyte again, it gets arrest at metaphase 2. Okay, so here there are two phases and this oocyte will get arrest. Okay, so you should not get the confused. Oogonia stop dividing, remain at arrested at the prophase 1, and then here after birth it stops at metaphase 2. Okay, so here the correct answer is, let me erase this so that you can observe the image properly. So here clearly whatever I have explained, that image is given. Okay, so this is what the process. Okay, and the correct answer is here the option B, prophase 1. Oogonia stops arrest in the prophase 1. Okay, then thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 48. Blocking of the fallopian tubes prevents. Dear students, just see the picture here. So this is the female reproductive structure, right? And here this is the ovary, this is the fallopian tube. See here, fallopian tube is blocked here, right? So the blocking may cause because of different reason. So several reasons are there. But what is stopped finally? The blockage will be stopping one process, that is what in the fallopian tube, what exact process is taking place. Already have studied this mechanism, this question and all. So that is what the fertilization process is taking place in the fallopian tube, right? In the in between the ampulla and isthmus region of the fallopian tube, fertilization is taking place. If the fallopian tube gets blocked, then what happens? The released secondary oocyte cannot reach the that isthmus ampulla region, and it cannot fuse with the sperm, right? So which mechanism is inhibited here? Which mechanism is prevented? So the answer is B, fertilization. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 49. Match the following. Choose the correct option. Dear student, if you observe here, so there are two columns, that is column 1 question and column 2 answers, and then in column 1 there are questions, that is first one testosterone and B is estrogen. So dear student, see, testosterone is produced in male, right? And the estrogen is produced in what? Female, right? Testosterone produced in male and estrogen is a female hormone. Female hormone. So correct answer is here. So testosterone is male secondary sexual character representing, and estrogen is female secondary sexual trait. So the correct answer is answer B, BA1 and B2. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 50th. During a vasectomy, which structure is cut and tied? Dear students, just observe the structure here. If you observe the structure, this is the structure of what? Male reproductive structure, right? So this is the male reproductive structure, and here this is the scrotum. Scrotum containing encloses the pair of testes. Okay, and if you observe here, this is what the structure is was difference. Okay, and here if you observe here, it is cut and tied. Okay, so this is what the process of vasectomy. So vasectomy is an permanent contraceptive method to prevent what? The pregnancy, right? In case of male, so it is done to the male, that is vasectomy. So the correct answer is here, the answer B, was difference, is the correct answer for the vasectomy. Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 51. Which hormone secreted by the placenta can be detected during maternal urine? Okay, just see the structure here, student. So whatever you are observing here, seeing here, so this one is hypothalamus and it releases pituitary hormone, that is what? FSH and LHS, right? So that starts secreting LH, progesterone. So if the woman is pregnant, then corpus luteum persists and it starts secreting the progesterone. It makes the endometrium line thickening. And whatever the embryo is getting developed inside the inside the uterus, so that is what called blastocyst, that will be continuing during first trimester. The level of HCG will be very high. Okay, so HCG is human chronic gonadotropin hormone, so this content is very high, so that's why in the maternal urine will get the content of HCG more. Okay, so the correct answer is here, the option HCG. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 52. Why does sperm require fructose in seminal plasma? Dear student, so already you know that the sperm, for the motility of sperm, so sperm will be containing many different types of fluid, right? So here if you observe in the male reproductive structure, in each part it is secreting different types of fluid, that is prostate secretion and secretion for the corpus gland, and then secretion for the from the testes, and as well as in the seminal vesicle it is containing a fluid. Okay, and in that fluid it requires fructose, because here for the motility of the sperm. Okay, so for the motility of the sperm fructose is required, and it is giving energy for the motility. Okay, so the correct answer is here, answer A, provides energy for the motility. So acts a hormone precursor, that is also not correct. And here fructose is not a hormone. And then it stabilizes the DNA, is not at all related, and prevents polyspermy, that is also not related to this. So the correct answer is here option A, provides energy for the motility. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 53. After fertilization, the zygote normally implant into the uterus. After, so here they are asking after how many days the zygote normally implants into the uterus. Okay. So dear students, just observe the structure here. See the structure. If you observe properly, we'll get to know the answer. So here after fertilization, so it becomes zygote, right? So this zygotes will be undergoing what? Mitotic division. Mitotic division, that becomes two-celled and then four-celled, and then at the day 3 it becomes morula, that is what 36 stage it reaches, and on the day 5 it becomes the blastocyst. Okay, that is what mammalian blastula. Mammalian blastula. Okay, and day 5 it is becoming blastocyst, means what? Directly it is implanting or implanting in the uterus, right? That means on the day 6 or 7 we can expect the implantation of the blastocyst into the uterus. Okay, so the correct answer is here option. Which option is correct, student, here? So the answer or option C, 6 to 7 days is the correct answer. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 54. Fertilization normally occurs in the uterus. Dear student, just a minute back we came across a similar question, right? So normally occurs. This fertilization is normally occurs in the uterus. Is that true? Just a minute back we solved that the implantation is taking place in the uterus, right? So then how come this fertilization normally occurs in the uterus? Already you know that fertilization is taking place in the fallopian tube, right? So here, so if you observe here, so this is the structure of ovary, fimbriae, right? And this one is what? Fallopian tube. Fallopian tube, and fallopian tube will be containing the region, right? The region, what? Ampulla isthmus junction. So where exactly the fertilization is taking place. Okay, so the correct answer is here. So in the ampulla isthmus junction in the fallopian tube, the fertilization is taking place, not occurs in the uterus. So the sentence is not a true. So the correct answer is here, answer B, false. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 55. A zygote divides repeatedly but fails to implant. What is the result? Dear students, so you already have know all the processes, right? So zygote is dividing, right? Zygote divides here and then it become blastocyst on the fifth day, and then on sixth day it should get implant in the uterus, right? So but here zygote divides repeatedly but fails to implant means, so till fifth day it comes but it will not get implant properly. Maybe reason, maybe so many reasons, okay, we cannot predict. There are a number of reasons. So here if fails to implant means what we can expect, so there is no development of the embryo further because here implantation itself gets fail. So what we can expect is, that is what, a abortion or what, miscarriage, okay. So abortion, it is in case if the embryo or the baby is not getting developed. But here if it get fails to implant, what we can expect, that is what, early miscarriage. Okay, so the correct answer is early miscarriage. Normal pregnancy we cannot expect because here not at all implantation is done. And early and ectopic implantation, that is another biological term if the uh, this what, blastocysts get implant in the other regions than the uterus, that is called ectopic implantation. And the menstrual delay, no, this is also not a correct. Immediately after the implantation gets filled, menstruation will occur. So the correct answer is B, early miscarriage. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 56. Assertion. The sex of the baby is determined by a father. Reason, male gametes carry either X or Y. Dear children, already you have an idea about this, right? So that sex determination in human being. So sex determined by the father, because if you observe here, father will be containing two different chromosomes. That is what, X and Y, right? And mother will be containing two similar chromosomes, that is X and X. So whenever the fusion is taking place, so here after fusion, if X gets fused, that becomes female. If XY gets fused, that becomes male, right? So Y chromosome, from where it is passing, from the father we are getting, right? So that's why the gamete carry either X and Y, it is in case of male, and the gamete carries both XX chromosome, that is in case of male. So the answer here, both the sentence assertion as well as reason are true, and the answer is here option A. Both A and R are true. R explains A. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 57. Which is the organ that produces estrogen and progesterone? Dear student, so we are almost uh, nearest to the ending of this chapter. So uh, so now I think you are perfect in the about the hormones and all, right? So here they are asking estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen and progesterone are these two hormones are related to the female, and it is secreted by the ovary, right? So estrogen content becomes when its content become more in the ovary, it gives signal to the pituitary and it releases LH and FSH, right? So, and progesterone also secreted by the corpus luteum in the ovary. So, both the hormones are secreted by the ovary only. So, the correct answer is here option A, ovary, not the uterus, not the pituitary gland, and not the fallopian tube. Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 58th question. Removal of pituitary gland in a male results in. Dear student, just observe the structure here. So hypothalamus is there. If it gets signal, where it is giving? Because there is no pituitary gland here. If pituitary gland is removed, if it is removed, so pituitary gland cannot release the FSH and LH. So here the luteinizing hormone which acts on the leading cells which is responsible for the synthesis of testosterone, and the follicle stimulating hormone acts on the Sertoli cells which is helpful for the giving nourishment to the developing sperm, right? So if the pituitary gland itself is released, then what happens? No release of LSFS, FSH, and then there is no spermatogenesis process also. So the correct answer is here option B, stoppage of spermatogenesis. Not an increased sperm count because here hormone itself not getting released. Rise in testosterone, that is also not correct because hormone releasing is inhibited, and enhanced libido, that is also not correct, not related to this. So the correct answer is here stoppage of spermatogenesis. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 59. Colostrum contains antibodies. What type of immunity does it provide to the newborn? So dear student, so as you know that colostrum is the initial days of the milk produced by the breast of a newly born baby's mother, right? So here this colostrum is giving uh, providing the immunity, right? That is also you know already. And what type of immunity does it providing? So here you should know the different types of immunity. So in acquired immunity there are two types, active immunity and passive immunity. So in active as well as passive immunity there are again two types, natural, artificial. Okay, so just understand what you mean by active and passive. So active means what? See here, the immunity is already there in our body. Okay, passive means the immunity not exist in our body, it is supplied from the outside. Okay, so here active immunity, if it is natural, that means already antibody exists in our body that acts against the infection. And artificial means during baby only the vaccine is provided like polio and all, so that acts on the infection, that prevent the infections. Okay, so that is what vaccination, that is artificial active immunity. If you comes to passive immunity, so here also there are two, natural means, so here naturally it is not there in our body, it is passing through our mother. Okay, so that is what natural passive immunity. And artificial means, like, whenever we are getting fever and some other infection, so we'll go to doctor, and doctor what they will do, they will providing the medicine. Through medicine we are getting what? Antibodies. So it acts against the infection. So now you have understood clearly what are the types of immunity and what is meaning of active and passive. And then just clear this question now. So colostrum contains antibodies. So colostrum is passing, it is giving the immunity to the newly born, and it is passing through the mother, right? So the answer is here. This immunity is considered as natural passive immunity. Okay, passive natural immunity. So the correct answer is here. Answer C, passive immunity. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 60. Why does menstrual bleeding not occur during pregnancy? Dear student, we are almost in the end of the session. So it is a last question of the human reproduction chapter. So I think already you have learned everything about the human reproduction and you are perfect with this chapter, right? So just read this question so you will get the answer that menstrual bleeding not occurring during pregnancy. Why? See, you already know that if the woman is pregnant, the corpus luteum persists, and corpus luteum secreting the hormone called which hormone? The progesterone, right? So it is secreting progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone. If progesterone hormone is secreting, that means the endometrium line is intact, thickening of endometrium line is taking place, so it helpful for implantation of the blastocyst. So that's why here menstrual bleeding is not occurring, right? So the correct answer is here option C. HCG maintains the corpus luteum. The baby's HCG maintaining the corpus luteum, and the corpus luteum secreting the progesterone that makes the endometrium intact. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We are ending the session here. So let's discuss the summary of today's class. So we have discussed whole chapter in this session and in last session. So first we discussed about introduction of human reproduction, also discussed the questions on male female reproductive system, and third studied the questions of spermatogenesis oogenesis very clearly, and also discussed the hormone regulation of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. That means what are the hormones involving or responsible for the process of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. And also we have discussed questions on the structure of human sperm, and also we discussed the questions on ovulation process, calculative questions on the menstrual cycle, right? And also discussed the fate of menstrual cycle in case of pregnancy, and the questions on hormonal control of menstruation, and questions on fertilization, sex determination, and 10th questions on pregnancy and pregnancy hormones, and also discussed embryonic development, parturition, and lactation, right? So all these topics, questions are discussed, and all the questions clearly discussed with the answers, right? So thank you. We are ending the session now.